very civilization is all about. It's about believing in the future and thinking that the future will be better than the past. And I can't think of anything more exciting than going out there and being among the stars. End quote.
Right.
Right now there is a group of people that absolutely want to go to the moon and explore the mystery around it, saying that whatever this thing is, it needs to be investigated as it looks like a giant egg.
Get the motherfucker in here.
The individual who found this craft is Scott C. Waring, a vocal UFO researcher who's claimed he's found various UFOs and ships in space. Although NASA have replied to some of his claims and debunked them as camera anomalies and other occurrences that happen in space. Regardless, Mr. Wayne believes this craft is the real deal. He even said the first space company to reach this could potentially uncover advanced tech. He said the following about the discovery. When looking over the Apollo 15 panoramic images, I came across a photo that has a mothership in it. It's not a cloud. Clouds do not exist on the moon. So I enlarged the photo and saw that not only was it a ship, it looked very similar to the Starship Voyager from Star Trek. End quote. He goes on to claim that the ship in question measures over 10.6 kilometers, or 6.5 miles. Amateur researchers have come forward in recent years and claim they found similar looking objects in old photographs, and they say this proves that there's more going on than what we're being told about, and in some cases the National Aeronautics and Space Administration is even editing out these images, in hopes that we won't see them. Amateur researchers say they do this because they think the majority of the population found out about these things, they would just panic. Recently he, along with other researchers, have asked people to consider checking out the location, saying that this could be the discovery of a lifetime, and could help us to answer the old-age question of whether we're truly alone in the universe.
Right
This
over
isn't
there.
the first time that someone has asked this from Elon. With all of the recent SpaceX launches, some watchers have claimed they've seen UFOs close to the rockets, saying that whatever these things are, they're clearly interested in our tech. And every time we send a rocket into space, these unidentified flying objects can be seen buzzing the crafts. However, these people may be preaching to the wrong person, as in the past Elon has been quite vocal about the fact that he's never seen any evidence to suggest that UFOs are genuine. He did say it's likely that consciousness might exist in the vastness of space, but also said if there were UFOs out there, he would know about them. Going on to say the following. I've seen nothing any alien civilizations whatsoever. I'd be the first to jump on that in a second, but I've seen no such evidence. End quote. He also went on to criticize UFO photographs, saying that the majority of them are blurry and you can't make out what the object is. Some people hit back at this though, and said that the majority of eyewitnesses aren't expecting to see them, which causes the photos to be blurry. Also, as mentioned by photographers and eyewitnesses, they've said that it's incredibly hard to take a photograph of a UFO on an everyday smartphone, saying that they're not designed to take photographs of fast-moving objects hundreds of feet in the sky. Believers have said it's one of the most frustrating things that people say when talking about UFOs, as until it happens to you, you don't understand how hard it is to photograph a UFO. For years now, UFO researchers have said the moon is a hotspot for UFOs, even going as far as saying it's one of the best places to see mysterious crafts. This has led to amateur researchers coming through NASA's huge library in the hopes of finding something of interest. One photograph that did stump NASA was this one. It's been called the break-off, and it shows what looks like a large object hovering close to the moon. Some have said it could be a chunk of the moon that came off, but UFO believers have said it looks like an unidentified flying object. Oddly enough, in the next photo that was taken by the space agency, the object can no longer be seen. The photograph is still in NASA's archives, and various newspapers reached out to the space agency in the hopes of getting an answer for what this object is. NASA spokeswoman Lynette Madison said that people are too quick to label things as UFOs, but said that the photograph is strange, and that, as of right now, they can't explain what it is.
Come on.
The International Space Station is one of the most impressive things we've built. For thousands of years, early humans would have looked up to the sky and wondered what was up there. Fast forward and humans have reached a point where we've been able to place an advanced laboratory above our planet, giving researchers and scientists the opportunity to conduct important tests in a non-gravity environment, helping us to understand things like what these sorts of surroundings do to the human body, and how we can overcome them. These types of tests are important as scientists and businessmen are looking at colonizing other planets, with Mars being the one that's currently being eyed up for human colonization. It's incredible to think that within many of our lifetimes we could see humans walk on other planets, something that only a few years ago seemed impossible. NASA said the following about the International Space Station on their website. The space station is Earth's only microgravity laboratory. This football field-sized platform hosts a plethora of science and technology experiments that are continuously being conducted by crew members, or are automated. Research aboard the orbiting laboratory holds benefits for life back on Earth, as well as for future space exploration. The space station serves as a testbed for technologies, and allows us to study the impacts of long-term spaceflight to humans, supporting NASA's mission to push human presence further into space." End quote. There's others though who state that there's more going on around the International Space Station than what we're being told about, and this has to do with the countless unidentified flying objects seen close to the ISS. Although NASA have said that these objects are nothing more than space debris, and that every single one of these have been explained by NASA scientists, there's a group of people who believe that the International Space Station often gets visited by UFOs, and that these crafts are not space debris as explained by scientists. This in turn has caused various UFO researchers to watch the live feeds in the hopes of catching one of these crafts. Interestingly, going back in 2015, a mysterious object was seen close to one of the International Space Station cameras, and it immediately caused theorists online to question what this giant object was. A UFO researcher by the name of Toby Lumpf was watching the live stream when he noticed a large object come into view. Thinking on the spot, he quickly took a screenshot of the object, and it was lucky that he did, as it was said the live stream quickly dropped once this object came into view. UFO researchers who watched the live cameras have said this is a common occurrence. This has caused researchers to say this is the lengths officials will go to keep us from knowing the truth. Even those who have an open mind on the subject have said it's strange when the live feed drops when one of these objects comes into view, and if anything it doesn't help NASA as it only causes theories to run wild. Some news stations tried to reach out to NASA and get their comments on what they thought the object was, but they reported that they never got an answer from the space agency. This is one of the more well-known photographs of an alleged UFO seen close to the space station, with believers saying that the craft in question shows a large triangular object, a craft that is well known in UFO circles as being one of the most commonly sighted UFOs. These crafts are described as being able to hover in the sky without making a sound, and when they need to leave the area they do so at an extremely high speed. Researchers debate who these crafts belong to, with some saying that they are the new stealth line currently used by the military, or some say this can't be the case as some of these crafts have been seen close to the moon. One skeptic, however, said the following about the object. Although at first glance this does look like a UFO, I think the more likely answer here is that we're looking at a glitch. There's been many times when I've been watching the live cams and I've seen something strange. However, this doesn't mean we should all jump straight to UFOs. There's so many other things it could be. For example, meteors that are entering the Earth's atmosphere, lights from the International Space Station itself, space debris and other natural explanations. People have and will always want to believe in aliens. At one point I was one of them. But the truth is we have no proof that UFOs are out there, as most scientists can easily explain the majority of footage that is taken. End quote. Well, one believer said the following: "This is one of the problems we are facing when it comes to things like UFOs being seen close to the International Space Station. People are so quick to deny it. I think at this
Close
point we need to
writing.
understand that it's obvious that there's something going on.
And
I'm
editing.
not saying that every one of these things is an unidentified flying object, but to say that every single one of them can be explained away as space debris is just ignorant. It's clear that government officials are interested in the UFO phenomenon, as declassified documents show us that they've been researching these things for several decades, and when they close down one of these projects that's been assigned to UFOs, they usually open up another one soon after. It's clear that there's something we're not being told when it comes to the subject of UFOs. The more we deny it, the more we dig ourselves a hole, and the harder it will be to open our minds to things we don't understand. For the past 5 years, government officials have been dropping hints that they know about these crafts. I hope that there will be an announcement soon, and that we can all start to move forward." End quote. Back in 2015, a man was hiking through a Budapest trail when he saw something strange. As the man approached what he thought was an animal, he noticed that something looked off. He described the creature as looking like a large spider, but went on to describe this thing as having legs, and that it didn't look like anything he'd seen in the area,